A lot of things can change in 6 months. Millions of people die, millions more are born, and many of our lives can drastically change within that time span. That's a scary thought, but 6 months is a long time. And in the case of Osu, many historic scores that were long sought after are set, and many historic chokes are being set. Both happen at the same time. But the one thing that has grabbed the attention of everyone in recent times is the rate at which mrekk is setting scores. Ever since mrekk became the #1 Osu player, he has continued to... Wait, this seems like deja vu. Just 6 months ago, I made a video about mrekk and his dominance as the #1 player. But so much has changed in that time, I pretty much have no choice but to talk about what has transpired in the past half year. I've seen your tweets and I've read your comments. What exactly has mrekk done in the past 6 months? Well, he's gotten so far ahead of everyone, it's only a matter of time until he breaks every record that there is to break. mrekk is redefining history, and as we speak, he's making a serious case for himself to become the greatest Osu player of all time.
That's why he's the GOAT!
Since my previous mrekk video was released, he has gained more than 600 raw PP, set more scores that broke the minds of everyone in the community, and the gap between him and Eterna, who is #2 on the Osu rankings, has grown to more than 3,000 PP. Like I've said before, the gap between mrekk and second place is the largest gap between #1 and #2 ever. It's bigger than the gap Cookie Z had over everyone at his peak, and it's bigger than the gap Whitecat had over everyone in his dominant reign. Cookie Z and Whitecat are the only two players to hold the #1 spot on the Osu global rankings throughout one full calendar year. Cookie Z did it in 2017, and Whitecat did it in 2020. Their reigns at the top were considered to be the most dominant Osu had ever seen, but now it's mrekk's time at the top, and he's not holding anything back. It's safe to say that he is going to hold his #1 ranking until the end of 2022, becoming the third player to hold the #1 spot on the Osu global rankings for a full calendar year. And just to illustrate just how far he is of everyone, the 3,000 PP gap between him and Eterna is roughly the same gap between Eterna and Cookie Z. Under normal circumstances, a 3,000 PP gap at the top level has 30 players bridging that gap. But if you're mrekk, normality does not apply. But this is just the start of all the crazy facts. Since mrekk's total amount of PP is so high, it's natural that he set a higher volume of high PP plays in comparison to everyone else. But instead of focusing on just his higher PP plays, let's look at his top 100 as a whole. The very last play in his top 100, which is an HD DT choke on Noise, is worth 924 PP. Remind you that this is at the bottom of his top 100. There are top players who don't even have a single 900 in their top plays. Rafis, who is currently ranked #21, does not have a single 900 PP play in his top 100. The fact he is able to do something more than 100 times, which Rafis, one of Osu's greatest players of all time, hasn't been able to do once, should speak volumes on how ridiculous he really is. He is able to set plays that are worth a lot of PP at such a high frequency, it's no surprise that he has bridged a massive gap between him and everyone else. You could even argue that he sets legendary scores so frequently that no one really cares about any of the new scores that he sets because there are simply too many of them. He's gotten so good to the point where setting scores that no one thought were possible is just normal to him. I mean, when you get to the point where 900 PP plays award you with 0 raw PP, are they even worth something to you at this point? The fact that we are even questioning something like this in the first place is ludicrous. Just 5 years ago, no player had a single 900 PP play. But right now, there exists a player who can set a 900 PP play and it won't show up in their top plays. For lack of better words, mrekk has pretty much made the PP system a joke. It's one thing to look at the scores he is setting at face value, but it's another thing to dive deeper into the numbers. In the new proposed PP rework, there will be 6 1.2k PP scores. All of them belong to mrekk. The fact that he has a historic mark all to himself is already ridiculous on its own, and it shows just how dominant he really is. But with more context, things get even crazier. There will be 24 scores that break the 1.1k PP mark in the new rework, and mrekk is responsible for 18 of them. Literally 3/4 of all the 1.1k PP scores belong to the same person. There are only 4 other players who have just one 1.1k PP score in the new rework, and the only other players with multiple 1.1k PP scores are Eterna and Badu, who each have 2. This doesn't even come close to what mrekk has done. The 1000 PP mark is not even a challenge to him. You know, the same barrier that took 12 years just to be broken once? The same barrier that was considered the most historic barrier broken in Osu history? You would think that every single player in the game would still have a hard time setting 1k PP plays considering how difficult it is. But if you're mrekk, the concept of difficulty does not exist. There will be 129 1k PP plays in the new rework when it is released. Now take a guess at how many of those belong to mrekk. 40? 50? Maybe more? The answer is 59. He has 59 1k PP plays, or 46% of all the 1k PP plays in the new rework. 59 out of 129 is already insane, but how does that compare to everyone else? Surely someone has their own fair share of 1k PP plays, right? Out of the 70 1k PP plays in the new rework not set by someone named mrekk, the person who has the most is Eterna with 12. In this context, 12 1k PP plays is nothing to scoff at. In fact, 12 is a really impressive number for any player. But, you know, mrekk has literally 5 times the amount of 1k PP plays as the person who has the second most. This is not even fair at this point. He's literally taking one of Osu's most prestigious accomplishments and making it look like an average play for him. And if my words are not enough, this is what the distribution of all 1k PP plays looks like without mrekk. Pretty balanced and nothing egregiously skewed. Throw mrekk into the mix, and now it looks like this. Do I need to say anything else? By far, the scariest part is that we know mrekk is capable of doing more if he really wanted to. Whenever he feels like it, he can set these scores at rates no other player can even dream of reaching. And we all know damn well that if he really wanted to, he could set these scores every single day. I mean, the fact that this tweet even exists in the first place is f***ing stupid. He's practically looking at the 1k PP barrier and saying, yeah, I have 60 of those because I'm the absolute best. No big deal. It's just too easy for him. It's not just the PP system that can tell you how ridiculous mrekk's score setting ability is. He basically turned Cpole's YouTube channel into an mrekk score posting channel because of the sheer volume of scores he sets. Cpole literally changed the name of his channel to go along with this joke at one point. I mean, it's kind of a meme when all the scores being posted were set by the same guy, but the reason why this became a meme was not just because of the influx of scores mrekk set in recent time, but because mrekk has more than 550 of his scores posted on the Cpole channel. Only a select few have more than 100 of their scores uploaded to the Cpole channel, and no one has even half of mrekk's total. But let's really put this into perspective. The first mrekk replay posted on the Cpole channel was uploaded on October 3rd, 2019. This means that on average, mrekk has set a play worthy of a Cpole upload every other day since his first replay was uploaded. This sounds fake, but it's true. Out of everything, this might be the most ridiculous fact about mrekk as a player. We have never ever seen an Osu player like mrekk. His rapid improvement, his skill relative to everyone else, and the rate at which he sets scores is alien-like. It's hard to believe that this guy is even human in the first place. But remember the thing I said in my previous video about mrekk? The fact that once October 11th passes, he will break Whitecat's record of the most consecutive days spent at number 1 in the Osu global rankings? Well, it's safe to say that mrekk is going to do just that. In fact, it won't be a stretch to say that he might break the most historic record in Osu history in one try. What is that record exactly? Well, cookiezi has spent a total of 967 days as the number 1 player on the Osu global rankings. It is still a long time away from happening, but if mrekk can hold on to his number 1 ranking until December 1st, 2023, he will officially surpass cookiezi's record in just one reign at the top of the world. Thinking this record would be broken was unimaginable not too long ago. But now there is a player that is legitimately threatening to break the most unbreakable record in Osu history. And if that were to happen, I think that all of us would have no choice but to say that mrekk overcame all the odds and will officially cement himself as the greatest Osu player of all time. Time will tell if that were to happen, but for now, let's soak in the moment we are living in right now and not take mrekk's greatness for granted. Because knowing him, this is just the start of something even more special.
1.2k PP, dude. Goat. That's the goat there.